Investing in cryptocurrency can be really confusing and difficult to navigate for non-initiated persons. Where to start? The reason for that comes down to market volatility. For with the steep upsides come mega crashes, all sometimes happening within a day. The client experience is also riddled with complexities, resulting in a poor overall customer experience. Which is the best cryptocurrency platform? How to pick one coin over another? They all have a reason to be unsure. The crypto market space is complex and hardly accessible to the most savvy and sophisticated investors. But it doesn't have to be that difficult. TradeTogether keeps things simple by reducing the effects of volatility to grow your investment. Once your crypto wallet is in place, the objective of capturing growth and stability will be managed by an initiated group of experts. The first of its kind, TradeTogether is a one-stop digital solution which focuses on improving your financial resilience and portfolio protection. It reduces the effect of market volatility on your personal investment, and you can access all details in a mobile app that displays your crypto pocket fund strategy alongside the pricing and interest earned. Your client journey is further enhanced by an intuitive dashboard, empowered with a crypto risk profiling advisory tool, providing access to multiple platforms in the decentralized space. That helps to secure yield in spite of market volatility and maintains a unified customer experience, no matter what blockchain protocols your pocket strategy engages. While most services allow you to buy any cryptos, we prefer to serve you the best pocket strategy based on your risk appetite. For when it comes to investing in the crypto market, your capital preservation is our priority. Get started with TradeTogether now and leave out the stress of market volatility to us. We also offer a bonus on top of the fixed terms gains, subject to the market trend. Visit our website at www.tradetogether.com to find out more.
Cryptocurrency has gotten lots of attention as a new way to invest, but not all of us have the bandwidth to monitor the 24/7 digital currency market or may even have the knowledge to manage these assets. So what do? Perhaps an alternative is turn to TradeTogether. They're a Singapore-based digital advisory and on track to launch a robo-advisor crypto solution. What's it all about? I'm going to unpack it for you today. How will it deal with digital asset volatility, address cybersecurity concerns, and really keep pace with the lightning-fast developments in the field? Well, helping me out with all this and more, and the key question, should you hodl with TradeTogether to the moon? My friends, joining me is Geoff, Chief Executive Officer of TradeTogether.
Absolutely,
and also
Michelle.
joining me, Jordan Ko, Chief Strategy Officer at TradeTogether. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good. We are super exciting to be with you here, Michelle Martin. That's a fantastic opportunity.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. All right, I want to unpack exactly what TradeTogether is going to offer clients.
Yeah.
So first up, maybe we'll start with how TradeTogether works. How does it simplify access to crypto markets?
Yeah, sure. So the main point about TradeTogether is to facilitate your experience when it comes to investing in cryptocurrency, but in a large spectrum, not only Bitcoin, not only Ethereum, but if, let's say, you think about DeFi or NFT, the purpose is really to give you an access, a simplified access, to generate some specific yield and returns based on your risk profile.
Fantastic. Can you tell me a little bit about the tech that is needed to power this widespread access to crypto markets?
Sure. So basically, behind the tech of TradeTogether, first of all, we give you a dashboard access, which is coded with JavaScript and React Native. And the purpose is really to give you a simple experience when it comes to deal with client onboarding. So basically, you don't need to be an expert to invest in TradeTogether and to basically invest indirectly with us into the digital asset space. The purpose is really to, based on your risk profile, if let's say you don't have a risk appetite of navigating between up 15% and minus 20%, we are here really to guide you to reach your objective based on your risk profile, basically.
Okay, let's dive into that. Jordan, help me understand how TradeTogether will match risk and the crypto basket. So it sounds sort of like you're an ETF basket provider. Is that a fair comparison?
Thereabouts, and you're right on point where it comes to baskets. We actually have three. One's low, medium, and high. Behind the scenes are a plethora of coins, but we don't want to bother all our investors with their details. They really just want to get be in this for the profit, right?
So how will you match the risk, my risk profile, with which basket I get?
Well, what we do is go through a series of questions with the investors, and from there we identify how much they're willing to, their risk appetite and their risk tolerance, and we will assign them to the correct baskets from there.
Okay, so is it fair to say that the criteria is really risk, not so much what I'm interested in getting access to in the crypto world?
So it's really about risk, and it's really about knowing you more. So, for instance, Michelle, if you have already invested into real estate, if you have already invested in your past experience, and I know that you have invested maybe in equities or specific bonds, maybe we know that you have a good understanding of how the market works. But it's not the case for everyone.
Yeah.
So it is true that the cryptocurrency market is an emerging space with lots of volatility, and this TradeTogether idea was really to help all our friends who don't know where to start, where to invest, what's a good time, if we invest on Monday, what happened next Monday? So we are really here to navigate and to help you to really reach an objective based on your risk appetite. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. And that brings up the question, actually, who is TradeTogether for?
So who is TradeTogether for? TradeTogether is really for the type of investors, like I said, who already had invested maybe in some real estate, in some specific trading portfolio, and maybe they have even experienced some trade with cryptocurrency, but it was not really a great experience. Maybe they invested when it was on top, then he reached a sort of bottom, and then he reached again in a difficult manner the same price, and then they sell. Typically, I have lots of friends in my network. We have lots of folks in our network who have experienced that. So we are really here to help them to navigate through that difficulties of what is the cryptocurrency, because there is so many opportunities, so many projects is going to change, I think, the society in its entire way. We deal, we execute, and we invest even in so many domains like art, gaming, and I heard you hear about Metaverse as well.
Oh, yeah.
So there is so many projects that we are super exciting to deep dive with you guys.
Yeah.
So that's really, it's made for everyone, but now we're in Singapore, and we are really focusing on the accredited investors. We will talk about that maybe. So we are basically a digital asset manager. So in Singapore, you have this act called the Payment Services Act, which allows you, for the company who are operating under this umbrella, to buy, sell crypto. Okay? There are so many companies doing this. We are not offering you to buy, sell. We are helping you to not put all your eggs into the same basket, and to really reach the moon, like you said, maybe on the question, but we help you. And again, fly me to the moon. We are really keen to help you to fly to the moon. But the question is, what's your risk appetite again? Are you ready to go to such turbulences? Because it's not constantly an easy promenade. Or you prefer to really do something but smoothly. So that's how we manage to, thanks to our roboadvisory, to really determine your type of profile, and then we can reach a specific stage altogether.
Are you a regulation first robo-advisor? I mean, we've seen many crypto startups try the other way of just existing and then hoping the regulation falls into place.
Yeah. So in fact, with both of our background, Jordan and I, we have worked for 10 years, decades in the financial institution, regulatory banks. So we know too well, we know too much the regulatory space and all the laws dealing with banking, not to tailor this specific project under the law in Singapore, first of all. So what we did first when we started our proprietary investment engine was to really make sure to understand in which type of umbrella we will fall in Singapore. And in Singapore, since we are dealing with a digital asset, we fall under what we call the capital market services license. And since we are not dealing with a capital market product, such as stock or real estate, we are just dealing with tokens. Therefore, we are eligible to an exemption under the SFA, the Securities Future Act, which is under the CMS, Capital Market Services. So that's the discussions that we have had with EMS. We have asked them, we have requested them, in fact, for just looking at our project and whether we will be eligible to this exemption. And we are waiting for the validation now. So we will be exempted to operate in Singapore.
Okay, so given the type of regulation and licenses that you are aiming for, as a robo-advisor, what can you advise on and what can't you advise on?
Of course. So the best way to really understand cryptocurrency and DeFi is really to maybe try by yourself. And somehow that's what we did with Jordan. My first experience, I'm a counterparty risk analyst specialist. Okay. I spent years looking at the external risk assessment. So starting from the directors, looking at who's the background of the team maker and so on. So when I heard for the first time about Bitcoin, and I've been told that the creator of Bitcoin was Satoshi, okay, where Satoshi is based? We don't know exactly. I was like, what is that? What the hell are we talking about?
This is 2013.
2013.
Bitcoin was what, $200?
Yeah, even maybe less. Jordan is a specialist on the chronology. So on my side, because I was really tailored to assess the risk, it was a red flag. Working in a big regulated financial institution. So it took a bit of time for me to really understand, to deep dive, and to really look at the benefit of such emerging technology. Jordan, maybe you can share on, because it's also 2013 for you.
Oh yes, well in 2013 I was more interested in distributed computing, and I think at that point of time I was actually looking for aliens. The project was called SETI Online, and
literally aliens. I thought it might be a token that I hadn't heard of.
No, it is really looking for aliens. And what we did back then was to receive work units, process it with our computers, and if there was a match over a certain pattern, they would investigate further to see if it was really aliens trying to talk for us. And this was, of course, accelerated. The processing of these work units was accelerated through the use of a graphics card. So I got a pretty beefy one.
Oh.
And someone told me about Bitcoin and Litecoin at that point of time, and I already had the equipment. So I started mining.
Really? In 2013?
Yes, right at the beginning. So kept it in a wallet, a cold wallet, or forgot about it literally, got a day job at a bank, met Geoff, unpacked the wallet, and we basically used some of that to start learning more about DeFi right at the beginning of it. So that's basically the story end to end.
Absolutely wonderful. So as a robo-advisor, you're not going to be able to tell people which coins to buy more of. The whole idea is that you want people to invest. So do people have to keep the coins with you for a specific, or keep a portfolio with you for a specific amount of time?
Yeah, so exactly. So we won't deep dive on the exact tokens also because of the reason of this exemption that we are not licensed, so we can't deep dive too much on that. However, we can tell you, Michel, that we are not Bitcoin maximalist or Ethereum maximalist. We are cryptocurrency generalist. So the purpose is really to understand exactly the utility of a specific project under a specific blockchain protocol through a specific kind of decentralized exchange environment or centralized exchange environment. We can also find that. So, and then to assess the risk from a tech risk counterpart. So basically, we can look at the smart contracts, the way they have developed the project. Was it done on open source? Is it a copy-paste of something that we can see already on internet? So we have been trained, and then we have implemented some risk assessment framework in regulated financial institutions. So what we have done is really a mix of looking at the risk behind each protocol, each blockchain, and also the risk and the fees, because sometimes it's expensive to transact in a cryptocurrency and blockchain environment. and then to look at the promising project. So you have so many projects in NFTs, in specific play-to-earn projects. There are so many now. So that's what we are helping you to found to source as a good project. But of course, again, it's depending on your risk appetite, because it's not an easy fly to the moon travel. It depends on the project, yeah.
Okay, and when it comes to these allocations, how often will you make reallocations? Is it once a quarter? And does that fit the crypto time frame? We know things can be so volatile, 67,000 one day, 8,000 the next.
So one of the methods of TradeTogether is to use a longer period of time to smoothen the peaks and the lows. If you use the example of a roller coaster ride, you start at the platform, it goes up, it goes down, left and right, sideways, but you come back at the platform. Right? So imagine if this was a 12-month roller coaster ride, you'd probably be able to come back at the platform without much risk.
Right. Enjoy the ride along the way. So would I have to park a minimum amount with you and leave it with TradeTogether for a minimum amount of time?
Yeah, so in the context of this exemption, in our information memorandum, we are proposing for customers to invest with a minimum of 20,000. So it's a way also for accredited investors to start understanding the way we process, the way we work, with depending of your risk profile. You may imagine that for a low risk, since we are investing mainly in stablecoin, the allocation and arbitrage is not as frequent as what you will see for a medium risk and high risk strategy. So that's pretty much how we articulate that. And
Yes.
And it's robo-advisor, and I'm attracted by this because, few of us carbon-based people are able to stay up 24 hours. And we know that crypto markets run 24 hours and a lot of the action happens after markets are closed, for example. So tell me about the role of the algorithm in deciding the allocations or deciding the fate of my portfolio.
So
that's a question for Geoff to answer.
I can, okay. Okay, so basically you have to, I think you're totally aware of that, Michelle, and for all our listeners and readers, the cryptocurrency market is really like the Forex. So it's up and running 24 hours. So we, of course, have this robo-advisory and some specific bots as part of our investment engine, helping us to really arbitrage when we do some arbitrage when we are not awake, because we also need to sleep. So that's the first way to mitigate our risk. And also, we are never constantly exposed, and we never expose constantly our client's portfolio into the 24 hours market. We are doing a bit of cryptocurrency market exposure, a little bit of exposure into DeFi space, which is not necessarily 24 hours into the market. So some specific tokens are, but not all. So it's really a mix between investing, between staking, between compounding, and to make sure that what we've discussed with you, with your risk profile, reach your objective, in fact, and mitigate your base capital. The purpose is really also to make sure that your base capital is on the right track.
So people usually come to robo-advisors because they want consistent returns.
Yeah.
But people come to crypto because they are attracted by the upside.
Yes.
Big upside. That's what they're hoping for.
Yeah.
What sort of returns are you hoping to provide your clients?
So again, it's really about what's your risk appetite when it comes to reach this specific return. Of course, we have all heard about some investors having a 10x in even 24 hours, right?
Yep.
But we forget also often of all those investors who have been unfortunate, losing all their capital, sometimes even being hacked, being the victim of some cybersecurity attack. So the purpose for us is not to play too aggressively, And again, it's really, we go back to the basis of what's your objective. Of course, we can try to reach this 10x aka moon, right? But it doesn't, there is no free lunch. So there is a risk behind, and the more we want to be aggressive, the more the volatility come back. So we can help you to source such a kind of project, extremely promising project, but it comes with a risk. That's really what you need to understand.
And will you be giving a range of expected returns on your app or on your website?
Yes, if you go on our website, you can definitely see, based on your risk profile, what you can expect and how we can help you to reach that stage. And
you're going to give us that range? Oh, you're going to send us to the website instead?
Yes, I really think you have to look at our website. Please go to our website, and you're going to enjoy it and more. You can even contact us. We are really open, please, and to discuss with you. And
the thing with cryptocurrency is you're not an exchange, right?
Yes.
And you know, people these days have cold wallets trying to figure out how to get their coins off the exchange because they're so concerned about security. When it comes to clients' monies, can you help us understand custodialship?
Yeah. So we have the possibility to receive digital specific wallet. I mean, we have the capacity to receive some coins, some existing coins of an investor who has one of top 10 or top 20 or top 100, so long as the coins and tokens are compliant based on our risk assessment and under the Singapore law. Then what was your question already?
Custodianship of clients' monies, where does that lie?
So we are a small boutique, so on the offering memorandum that we are proposing to our client, and what we have discussed with the regulator is for the next 6 months, we manage the custody on our side, at our level. However, as we go to scale up with our portfolio, then we have already designated a partner who will help us to, and this partner is already working with some existing cryptocurrency specialists. So that's the plan we have. But for the time being, we have the capacity to manage all the assets at our hand.
Okay, and speaking of assets, would I actually own these crypto assets in these baskets?
Yeah, so essentially, once you download our app, or you can also access to our website, you will have actually a dashboard with your base capital. I think that's important because there are so many mobile app today and crypto provider who actually don't really give you what was your capital base 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Really?
And you lose a little bit the sense of how much did you invest 3 years ago, 4 years ago. On our dashboard, you can see what's your base capital, what's your risk appetite, and the yield that we are helping you to reach within a 12 months basis. After the 12 months, even before if you like, but there is a bit of redemption fees, we can return back the funds to you either in fiat, because you can just send us in a Singapore dollars or other type of currency after a KYC check. And within the 12 months, we can propose you to send back the token in your digital wallet. But of course, there is some you need to make sure that your key address is the right one, because it's not like SWIFT. There is no way back. If we send it to you and there was a mistake,
because there's no centralized
oversight
governor who's going to say, okay, I got to write this wrong, and here's how we're going to do it.
Exactly.
So it's clear that you're not a trading platform. Is the idea to encourage people to think of cryptocurrency investing, which almost seems it almost seems antithetical, but is that what you're trying to encourage?
Yes, exactly. In fact, what we are trying to encourage all our network and clients is really to look at this cryptocurrency space, DeFi space, as a new emerging technology, and with lots of opportunities, but also we need to give a bit of time. So if you're really looking at doing 10x, 20x, and you can try your luck, but that's not what we are proposing here. It's a long term of generating yield, but in a secured manner.
Okay, speaking of security, help me out, Jordan. When people think of cryptocurrency, they worry about, they hear about Binance and this algorithmic bug that brought things down, and they think, to what extent am I going to be vulnerable to a hacker on your system? What do you say to people who ask, is my money safe with you?
Well, that's a really good question, Michelle. And in reality, the biggest risk to DeFi are really like smart contracts. The truth be told, everything is out there on the internet. It's open source.
Yep.
And hackers literally can go through every line of code and test their theories to try and steal money. So it's no surprise that the bug bounties in the DeFi space are among the highest in the IT industry. What Geoff and I have done is applied something called third-party security assessments for every platform that we choose to invest with. We actually do our due diligence, and if there's the possibility to transfer the residual risk, such as using insurance, we do it. Right? So these controls are actually part of our operational costs as TradeTogether. And probably something that your normal investor may not think about.
Okay, so, people worry that all of a sudden these tokens are going to disappear overnight. How do you guard against that happening?
So
it's not within your control, really.
So we look at the platform on which we invest with. We also look at the total volume locked in the different distributed applications that we work with. We also research the external security assessments for the platforms. And of course, we do our best to find insurance for them. So these are the controls that TradeTogether actually does on the behalf of the investors. There are economies of scale of doing this centrally. And some investors may not really have, their appetite to do it. It's just too much hassle.
Okay, help us understand TradeTogether and the sort of access it's going to provide us to the many different asset classes in this whole crypto universe. Will it offer us opportunities in terms of passive earning in the DeFi space?
Yeah, so we have this capacity to offer you these specific yields. And the purpose is really for you to invest on the long term, on the long run. And at the same time, if you want, let's say, 1 month, 2 months down the line to redeem a little bit of your profit without touching the capital base, which is really the difference between a normal crypto exchange, then you can redeem your return and we conserve your base capital. That's really our recommendation for 12 months. So we are really like an asset manager, but the difference is that we are managing tokens and digital assets. Yeah.
So you're like the mutual fund of the crypto world?
We can say that. We can say that, Michelle.
Which brings me to a very important question. How do you make your money?
How do we make our money? So the way we work is pretty similar to an investment fund into the traditional space. We take a little bit of management fees and performance fees. So if, let's say, the more our strategy goes to the moon, the more you generate return on your side. On our side, we take the same performance fees because we don't want to push you to go for high or for low.
Okay.
So it's really classic in the industry. It's 2-20. So 2% of management fees, 20% of performance fees.
Okay, got it. Now that we're clear on the fees, let's go back to the possibilities, all right? You mentioned the DeFi world. Recently, Facebook got us all excited with talk about how it's pivoting to the Metaverse.
Yes.
Now, what kind of access can you offer investors in terms of the Metaverse?
Yeah, so that's a good one. This reminds me actually your excellent Money FM. You had a good interview on that with Facebook and the change of the name also. So actually the Web 3.0 is also an emerging technologies, and we are planning to open a specific funds dedicated to this. It will be in 2022, and we will give you more details about that. Some exciting news coming. But
Are these coins? What is this?
Oh,
NFTs, or these are NFTs?
It's a lot about NFTs, a lot about augmented reality, virtual reality. It's a lot about game to play to earn. So there are so many projects.
Yeah, but there's a local flavor to it too. We're Singaporean,
Yes.
born and bred company.
Yeah.
So one of our objectives for that 2022 plan is some means of actually giving back to Singaporeans. Not everybody wants to, deliver food for a living, right? So we at TradeTogether want to actually expose them to an opportunity to not only learn, but also earn.
That's really fascinating. Do you think this education aspect is an important part of the mission of TradeTogether? That a lot of people get into the crypto world and they're not really sure what they're buying.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely a part of our objective. And we started all these ideas because our friends around us were asking us, okay, but we don't know where to start. We don't know where to go. We don't know how to handle it. You guys have the expertise. Let's try to do something. And both of our network, it was the same. And since we started all this strategy, we told ourselves, okay, since we are trading together, let's trade together. And let's help by guiding our friends and now clients to invest, to educate, to raise awareness from a cybersecurity risk perspective, but also from some opportunistic project that we may find, may detect, may assess into the DeFi space to Metaverse.
Fascinating. So what do you guys think of the recent ProShares Bitcoin ETF? I mean, the whole idea of the wrapper of the ETF was to make general access easier.
Yeah.
Right? And so what they're doing pretty similar to what you're doing in a way? Do you see them possibly taking away some of your audience share?
Yeah. So first of all, concerning the ETF, I would like to pay a tribute to the browser Winklevoss, who actually started the browser Twinklevoss, the US
Twinklevoss, yeah.
Twinklevoss, yeah.
The twins, yeah.
The twins. So they basically started to push for that ETF ID back in
many years ago, yeah.
Many years ago. And finally, this ProShare was the first company to be able to issue this ETF. Our view here is that it's going to democratize, I will say, the access to Bitcoin. So we see that in a positive manner. What I can see also is that the fact that it's not only in the US, we can see that there are so many ETF created in Europe also. I think in total we have almost 5 to 8 ETF about to pop up across the world. I think it will bring more awareness, more sort of access to all the citizens who just want to have easy access to the Bitcoin. So I think it's going into the right direction. Yeah.
So the thing with the ProShares Bitcoin ETF is that it offers you access to futures contracts that are traded on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So it's almost a synthetic of a synthetic. What would I be getting access to through your portfolios? Is it direct access? Does it mimic crypto markets?
So we don't mimic or copy paste the Bitcoin strategy or any other tokens. Maybe at some point we will open a fund doing this, but I think there is already this type of service today. What we are doing is more, again, helping you to place your eggs in a different basket and to monitor that for you.
Okay.
That's really what we are doing.
All right, let's get to know you guys. I mean, we haven't really gotten to know you personally. Now, what inspired you to leave the safety and security of a job in the corporate world for entrepreneurship?
Yeah, that's a great question. You want to start, Jordan?
Jordan?
Well, Geoff and I actually started out in a part of a a fully regulated financial institution that was.
Your colleagues.
We were colleagues, and we spent 85% of our time dealing with oversight, dealing with several lines of evaluation to what we were doing, and probably 15% or less innovating. We realized it probably was a safe place to be, especially in the light of COVID. But we had to bite the bullet at some point of time. It was a good idea, and the time was ripe for us to just go out and do it. If not now, then when?
And for you, how do you go from someone who's, not looking favorably on Bitcoin to this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think pretty much like Jordan, of course, and also I also invested like you, Michel, in stocks or in bonds. I was looking at it since a long while, and in the financial institution, I had lots of exposure with the equivalent of the blockchain for the traditional finance, which is Swift.
Yep.
Okay, and 3 years after having this this meetup with Bitcoin, I started to really understand how powerful was the blockchain when it comes to send a specific asset from one place to another, literally in 2 minutes, if the system capacity of the blockchain is not too congested. So I really started to understand that and to see how powerful it was, and also the rarity, the fact that those assets are rare compared to the traditional currencies, and how to secure also somehow your portfolio. And that's how in 2016 I started to really deep dive and understand more about the concept of cryptocurrency, and especially Bitcoin, of course. Okay. Something interesting is that this gentleman is the one with whom I had the longest call in my life. Even with my wife, I spent 6 hours with this gentleman to discuss about cybersecurity risk with a CISO, a Chief Information Security Officer, and to convince about the risk assessment behind the Fintech where I was involved.
Okay.
And on that day, we started at 6 p.m., we ended up at 1 a.m. I told myself, if one day I'm doing this company dealing with a digital asset, I think he is the guy I want to deal with.
Oh, to be a fly on the wall on the 6-hour phone call.
Yeah, I think that was the triggering point.
But it also shows the faith that you have in this technology, given what you were seeing from the inside,
of course.
Institutionally.
No, for sure. But don't get me wrong. Of course, the financial institutions are also looking at DeFi, and they're also extremely interested about that. But the only issue is that the infrastructure is so different that it takes time to move and to change and to convince everyone. Right. And at some point, for us, it became just an evidence that we had to do that. Okay. And I think the fastest way was to do it by yourself, all together.
Okay, but you are trading together. I know that you have raised almost $500,000 from early investors. Yeah. In terms of success, what do you think your investors are looking out for?
I think our investors are really looking for a rapid expansion across the region and internationally, and to serve our customers in the best manner, as what is our title, which is to trade together and to help really our customers to reach the objectives that they want without the hassle of this complicated onboarding of blockchain and all this digital wallet.
How do you define success, Jordan? For what are your KPIs for success for TradeTogether?
Well, essentially, Geoff and I had a 1,000-day plan together to raise as much Bitcoin as possible before the big halving. So we are really working backwards from that dream, and through a combination of DeFi, alts, investing in different blockchain infrastructure, we hope to get there much earlier.
Well, since you raised the halving and we are about education, I mean, that's primarily what I do on my show as well, so I can't help myself. Can you help us understand what the Bitcoin halving is all about, especially since would-be crypto investors are listening in and they think this is going to impact my investment long term?
Sure. Well, traditionally, the halving has always been an event prior to which the price of Bitcoin would, pump tremendously. That's when the block rewards are halved. There's actually going to be a point of time where there will be no more Bitcoin actually being minted by their system, and after which the miners will really just be getting rewards from transactions. Well, what Geoff and I had actually worked out was that the utility of Bitcoin is limited, right? And we can have our own halvings in other parts of the cryptoverse. So our huge takeaway and our learning was that we didn't have to wait for Bitcoin to halve to 10x. We actually could apply that principle of an event to other cryptocurrencies on the behalf of our investors, do that research, do that due diligence, and bring them there a whole lot earlier.
Okay, before we let you go, can you share with us some pipeline projects, what we can look forward to just ahead?
For sure. So pipeline project, of course, is to get this MIS notification concerning our exemptions. That's really important. We are super exciting to receive any of your call after the SG Fintech Festival. Even right now, please.
Oh, right now, yes, hit the chat button.
Yes.
Actually, hit the chat button and you get to chat directly with these guys.
Exactly. Yeah. It will be a pleasure. Then, of course, the rollout of our MVP, our minimum viable product, this end of the year. And next year, I think we would like to guide you to explore some path through the Metaverse, and we will discuss that, Michel Martin, certainly next year.
Yes, for sure. We'll have you on, without a doubt. So it looks like sky's the limit, guys. I wish you all the best. He's Geoff Ira, CEO of TradeTogether, and he's Jordan Ko, Chief Strategy Officer at TradeTogether. I'm Michelle Martin. Such a pleasure. Thank you, gentlemen.
Likewise. Thank you very much, Michelle.
Thanks, Michelle.